On this week's special episode of The Piper Harlow Show, hop in the DeLorean with me and Gen X's social media icon, the Real Slim Sherri, as we talk about 80s nostalgia and have fun in Yestercades and Incognito in downtown Somerville. Also, Bill Rancic joins us to talk about the new season of the Mega Brands That Built America on the History Channel. Hey guys, welcome to this week's episode of The Piper Harlow Show. I am here with the Real Slim Sherri, who came all the way from Atlanta to be here today. And Sherri, where are we?
We're back to the future, man. We're back to the, I don't know if it's back to the future or just
back to the past.
Back to the past, but we're in a DeLorean.
It had to be.
Yeah,
for you to come here.
We had to do I feel like I came. Where's the doc? He brought me here. Like I feel like that's how I got here. He's
coming later.
Is he? Okay, I can't wait. I'm looking for the clock tower. Like where's that? I did see a clock on the street. I did see one. Yeah, I did.
So we are actually sitting in the middle of Division Street in downtown Somerville in a DeLorean, and we're going to do an entire 80s nostalgia piece for you guys today.
I'm so excited.
Yes, because that is Sherri's beat.
It's part of my beat. Yeah, I do a lot of nostalgic Gen X
Actually,
content.
Tell me all about that. How did you, I have been following you on Instagram for, oh my God, at least like a year or two.
Okay.
And totally resonate. The things that you say are just so real.
I do try to keep it real. That's why I'm the Real Slim Sherri.
Exactly. Yeah. So where did this come from? Like, why did you decide to start doing this? When did you decide to start doing this? Tell me all about it.
So I don't know why I started making Gen X content. I started making content on TikTok actually back during COVID. And I had COVID. I spent a lot of time while I was getting well, just scrolling through aimlessly, through videos, and was like, I think I could do that. And I didn't know I would make like Gen X content, but I started seeing that pop, the algorithm is very good at algorithming. And it was, it's a word. It's really a word. Algorithming. And I didn't even say that right. But anyway, it was serving me up, content that was somewhat like nostalgic a little bit. And I was like, I think I could do that. And so my first like viral Gen X video was it was called The Sounds of Gen X. And it was just like opening sounds of songs that we would know just from the opening notes. And that video went viral and I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. So I fell into the trap of TikTok early on of making like more content like that. I was like, oh, the algorithm likes that. I'll make more of that. And so I did. And now I make a bunch of different content, but my Gen X content is probably some of my favorite content.
I love it.
But I talk about midlife and just like where we all are, midlife and
Big Sis. I love when you give shout outs to the younger people.
The younger
post some very strange things.
I'm trying to, I'm building an arsenal of like of future research material for these young people, you know, so they know they can the things that nobody warned us about, of what it's like to reach this point in life and get an age and still feel like a kid. Like here I am. I'm in a DeLorean doing a Back to the Future skit with you, and we're going in an arcade here in a little bit.
Yes,
and I'm like feel like a little kid.
And so that being said, I, dressed like this today. I'm driving here with my 80s music on. I could not be more happy. Like, I want to dress like this every single day of my life.
You're slaying the Madonna look, man. You're slaying.
That she was such my idol.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
can tell. You've nailed the look.
Embodied.
Meanwhile, I am embodying a true Gen X spirit in a hoodie and jeans.
Well, that would be my like at-home weekend wear.
It's cold here. This is my outdoor. It's cold gear. I don't own a coat because I live in Atlanta. And so this is my coat. And so I have a t-shirt on I plan to wear for this event, but I had to wear the hoodie because now I'm freezing.
You can show us that t-shirt later.
I will. It basically has the same thing on the front. It's just it's tie-dyed, because that's a lot of our vibe. Yeah.
Totally. And speaking of shirts and sweatshirts, you also have your own clothing line.
I own a boutique. Yeah, I own a boutique and I own a skincare company called Wholesome Hippie. And so, that's what I do for when I'm not making content. I own an online clothing boutique, and part of that is a t-shirt business. We make graphic tees, and we also sell jeans and shoes and stuff like that. And then I own a skincare company, an all-natural skincare company.
So how did you get into that?
Well, I spent 26 years as an investigator, and then
that is so interesting.
And then I quit my corporate job because I was burnt out, and I thought, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I somehow landed into a boutique space and was selling clothing. And then about 4 years ago, right before COVID happened, I, out of my own skincare needs, thought I'll start a skincare company because I struggled with my skin my whole life. And that's how Wholesome Hippie came to be. And when I first quit my corporate job, I didn't know what I was going to do. And I was like, well, I got like a year to figure it out. If I can't figure out what I'm going to do with my life, then I'll have to go back to being an investigator because that's what I do well.
And, I'll do that with you. I have an honorary degree from an investigation ID.
Well, there you go. Nine years later, I'm still out here doing my own thing, and
I'm so proud of you.
It's amazing. Thank you. It's been a wild ride, and I miss being an investigator sometimes. Like I miss the hunt.
Yeah,
like, I miss that, but I don't miss the red tape that goes with it. So yeah, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
And you were just at the Cheer Choice Awards.
I was at the Cheer Choice Awards in Las Vegas last week. We were a huge sponsor. My company, Wholesome Hippie, was a big sponsor for them. We were their live sponsor, and all the money they raise goes to charity for Spread the Cheer USA. And we were super excited to be a part of such an amazing organization as Cheer Choice and Spread the Cheer. And we're just fresh back from Vegas. Still living on the crazy, hundreds of people there, creators from all over, and chance to meet some of my favorites and just be a part of such a great charity.
Awesome. Well, guys, we're going to be right back after this commercial break. Sherri, are you ready to get into some trouble?
Oh, I'm always ready for trouble. Yeah, that's my middle name.
All right, guys, we'll see you in a bit. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Swing on by, take Incognito, find your flair, unique antique, groove through racks from head to feet. In Somerville, Fashion Street, at Incognito, styles reborn. Every visit feels like home, from flapper dresses to leather boots. Every era's here, and it's all so cute.
And now, back to the Piper Harlow Show. Welcome back. We are inside Yestercades right now with the Real Slim Sherri.
Oh,
are you having a moment? How are you feeling?
I am feeling like a little kid. I'm like you said you were going to take me back in time. I didn't know we were going to go this far back in time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I am just I can't wait to play all the video games. Like look, I have an old, like, I couldn't wait to touch this. Like, this is like the original.
And what were you saying? I didn't even remember about the static till you said
I unlocked a core memory for you.
You really
did. You were when you would turn the TV on and you could feel the static on the screen. You guys, this is an old school console.
This is what I had in my house.
We all did.
Yeah.
We all did. And when it died, you didn't buy it. You bought a new one. You just stuck it on top of this one because you didn't know what to do with this piece of furniture. It became a permanent piece of furniture.
And I also remember like the smell. It had a very specific smell.
And so I touched it because I was like, I didn't think I'd ever feel the static again that came off of a television, and how long it took for it to warm up and bring the color out.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah.
It did. It, like I was watching the color. It was I feel like I'm 5. It's so weird. It's weird. It's a good feeling though.
So what was your favorite 80s TV show that you would watch?
Oh, they put me on the spot. I liked it all. I liked Wonder Woman. I
used to watch that with my great grandma.
You did this. You spun.
We
all spun.
It was that.
We all stood up and
then
we practiced our Wonder Woman
of 3
spin.
I had the underoos.
We all did.
Yeah.
We all had the underoos.
And I would take my mom's bracelets, and she had these like gray boots, and I was convinced.
Yes,
absolutely.
And you had bracelets.
That was
it. You had a rope, and you were Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman. And I did like Three's Company and Different Strokes. And I mean, there's so many. There's a laundry list. I mean, I remember watching, what's the show with the kit car?
Knight Rider. Oh my gosh, absolutely. Some Hasselhoff.
American Hero and like all those shows. We watched all those. And because you only had 3 channels, so you had to watch them.
That was
you had to get them when they came on, or you missed them. There was no way to record them or rewind them or go back.
No.
Like,
and if you had to go to the bathroom, you had to wait and you had to run. That was it.
You waited, and then as soon as the commercial came on, you booked to the bathroom, and then you prayed to God you got back in time to not miss
I remember
anything.
Screaming, "It's on!"
Yes, you would scream at your sibling if they ran off to get popcorn or something to eat or whatever, or they went to the bathroom. And that's how we did it, because there was none of this endless streaming that we have today, where you can watch anything all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason why we weren't so lazy, because you had to do things.
We weren't allowed to be lazy.
We weren't allowed.
If you sat still too long, they put you to work.
I still have like severe anxiety if I'm having a day off and I'm just
you feel guilty,
Sunday watching TV. Yeah, like I really do.
Because they thought that idle fingers got into trouble. So if you were sitting still too long, you were going to get in trouble. So they put you to work.
100%.
Paint the house, mow the grass,
exactly.
do the dishes.
We never came home.
No, that's why we stayed out. We didn't want them to tell us what to do. We didn't want them to give us something to do, so we just stayed outside until the street lights came on. That was the thing. That was the whole thing.
But what I really miss about it is I feel like it gave us the opportunity. We had to be creative. We had to invent games. We had to invent things to do. Even the clothing, right? Like if I was in high school in the 80s, I would wear something like this. I would be so excited to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do my hair. Yeah, because what you wore, you made. Like there wasn't designer clothes.
No, there wasn't.
It was
who
there
you
are.
It was Jordache.
Levi's.
Levi were the designer clothes. But yeah, no, you had to be creative. And I think that's why we're such a creative bunch now, because we didn't have, not that I don't take anything away from the young kids today and all that they have at their fingertips, right? The technology that they have and the just, how far everything has come. We didn't. We made things out of nothing. Yeah. Because and that's why when my kids complain, I'm like, listen, go outside and play, eat. You're going to be fine. I literally ate dirt. You're going to be okay.
We drank from the hose.
We ate mud pies, people. We ate mud pies. Okay.
I don't think that I drank water till I was like 23.
I still don't. We didn't have bottled
water.
No. My kids take a 40-ounce drink to school every day. And I'm like, we drank out of the water fountain. Like, remember the dirty, nasty
But you weren't even thirsty all day. Like
you did. We just somehow, our bodies are very, very good at retaining water because we didn't have any. And when you did, you drank it out of the hose, or maybe if you got lucky, out of a glass in the house.
Well, usually mixed with some 4C iced tea.
Kool-Aid. It was Kool-Aid. Yeah. Lots of sugar and red dye.
We were fine.
I'm still here to tell the story. We've survived. We've somehow survived. It's true.
What was favorite 80s movie?
Oh, I mean, that almost is it. It's almost, for me.
That wasn't a fair question.
I get asked this all the time. And for me, the first one Purple Rain is always going to be. Yes. I'm a huge Prince fan. Purple Rain's always going to be like right up there. But I can't discount the Goonies. Like Goonies, amazing movie. I can't. And there's so many. Back to the Future. Obviously, we're here with this amazing car. There's just so many.
16 Candles.
I was 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club.
Yes.
And like all of those movies. There's just so many. It's hard to pick a favorite. Lost Boys.
That was so good.
One of my favorite movies until the day I die.
Yeah.
Like there's certain movies they should never remake.
Agree.
And some of those I named just now, they should never touch them.
Oh, you heard it here?
Yeah.
Don't remake it.
Mess with them because they are iconic as they are, and they shouldn't. Don't mess them up. Don't mess them up.
All right, guys, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with a walk around Yestercades and also an interview with Stacy, who is the owner of Incognito. See you in a bit. I'm going to beat you.
Oh, no, I'm going to beat you too. You got to push the button.
Swing on by, take Incognito. Find your flair, unique antique. Groove through racks from head to feet. In Somerville, Fashion Street. At Incognito, styles reborn. Every visit feels like home. From clapper dresses to leather boots. Every era's here, and it's all so cute.
And now, back to the Piper Harlow Show. Well, we can't pull Sherri away from Hubert right now. And Q is here with Hubert. And I'm here with the manager of Yestercades. This is Fred. Fred, thank you so much for letting us in here today.
Happy, guys.
Thank you. So tell me, how long has this been open? Where did you guys come up with the idea? You've got multiple locations.
Yeah, so legend has it, the owner, Ken, woke up one day and said, you know what? There's no arcades for me anymore.
No.
I'm going to make my own arcade. So he put every penny he had into opening his first arcade in Red Bank about 13 years ago. A couple of years later, he's like, I know what I'm kind of doing here. And then we're here in Somerville. And we're actually getting ready to celebrate our 10-year anniversary next month.
Bye-bye.
So,
bye-bye.
So sweet. While you're seeing the store here, this is going to be the before.
Okay.
Because we're actually getting ready. We're actually in the middle of a redoing
renovation?
the entire store, a little renovation here. So if you
we're gonna have to
funny
come back.
sounds... They might be from the games. It also might be from the guys working in the back. So next time you come, hopefully, it will be a brand new store.
I
for
love
you
it.
guys.
Are you ready to just break free? Let's run through. Let's go. Run.
Absolutely.
I'm stoked.
Arcades buzzing, the energy soars. Drop the tokens, let's settle the scores. Spin the joystick, feel the rhythm start. On this part, hands on the levers, eyes on the screen, pixelated dreams in a flashback scene. the neon glare. You're the beat, not one we can compare. Move it right in this retro affair. We're the kings and queens with a coin to spare. Jump and jive, let the speakers blare. Young heart, beat fast in the Yestercade where the magic lasts. Dizzy spells and retro sounds flash around in this playground. Fever's high on Pac-Man's run. We chase the night until we've won. Twist and bounce, feel the joystick sway. Combo moves that we slay all day. Neon dreamscape in the Yestercade glow. Hit the floor with the old cheat codes. Arcade rhythm in our Saturday souls. We moonwalk through Mario, we're on a roll. Young heart, beat loud in the Yestercade. We dance on clouds. Glittering lights from the disco ball in the Yestercade. We're having a ball.
All right, welcome back. We are now in Incognito, and I'm here with the owner, Stacy. Thank you so much for coming in today and opening the store for us. We're having so much fun today. Oh my gosh. Can we just live in the 80s every day?
We should. I don't know why we don't.
Tell me about the store. When did you open up? Like, what was the inspiration for opening a vintage store?
Honestly, Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers.
Oh.
I used to watch The Late Show, watch them dancing around.
Yeah.
I would go thrift shopping and find these beautiful clothes. And I just thought I should bring them back, and I would wear them to high school.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was 21, which is 1986, so you're dating me.
Well, you're only like 25 now, so.
Exactly. I started a shop, and I loved it. It was so much fun to give people something to wear that was different.
So how long has the store been open?
37 years.
Wow. That's amazing. So you've seen like this whole block change, this whole area change.
Goodness, I remember when they were petitioning to close down the street, and I wasn't sure if it was a good idea, but it's fabulous. It's wonderful.
Awesome. So everybody make sure you come visit Stacy. Want to show us around and show us some fun pieces?
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go.
Swing on by, Incognito. Find your flair, unique antique. Groove through racks from head to feet. In Somerville, Fashion Street. At Incognito, styles reborn. Every visit feels like home. From flapper dresses to leather boots. Every era's here and it's all so cute.
So I'm so excited to have Sherri here in my store. I follow her on Instagram.
Aw.
And this is my era, so we're lucky to have you today.
Thank you. Well, so I'm excited to be here in your store. So who is, like, tell me a little bit about who your core customer is. Like,
Yeah.
who are you catering to here?
Well, right now we're having an 80s theme going on because everybody's into the nostalgia for the 80s.
Of
So a lot
course.
of people have these
What's
themed
not to be
parties.
nostalgic about?
I know. They have theme parties. So-and-so graduated or got married in the 80s, so they're trying to bring back the nostalgia.
Yeah.
So they come in and they buy dresses like this.
They want to go back
Rock
to
'em
the
out. Yeah.
and the boa. Girl, can
I
you do
love
the
it.
whole? There you
wanna see-
work it. Work it.
The other thing we see is a lot of TV shows right now that are themed around the 80s.
Speaking of TV shows, you actually dress some shows on Netflix and other networks.
Really?
Can you
That's
tell us about that?
awesome.
They come here and buy because they want the original clothing for the people on the set
Yeah.
in the background. And so I've had a bunch of them. The Bob Marley movie that's out right now, I mean, that's 70s, but they
Yeah.
got some stuff from us.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
What other shows have you dressed?
There's one on HBO called Julia. It's about Julia Childs.
Mm-hmm.
And they bought a lot because it went from the 60s into the 70s with
Yes.
her TV show.
That's awesome.
Sounds
That's fun.
fascinating.
Do you get a lot of, so I mean, I would be one of those people that would be totally going to like an 80s themed party or something. It would be like, I have to go buy something that's like true
Real,
vintage,
yeah.
retro, like vibe. And you've got so, like You've hit on I walked through here and like, oh my gosh, you've taken me back to like my childhood, like in the early 70s.
Sherri's been running around this whole time.
I think I
playing
found
with everything.
Everything.
We're trying to film
All
like
the things.
Sherri. She's busy doing things.
I'm hard to tie down. Let me tell you. I am a lot to manage, not manage. I'm a lot both. I'm a lot to do both with.
Manage and manage.
But I think I found a piece of luggage back there from the Titanic.
Oh, there is a piece from the Civil War period.
I'm totally feeling the vibe. Like I was like, that is from the Titanic. And then you have like, I don't know if you know, but there's somebody hanging from your ceiling back here with wings.
Is it moving? Is it alive?
I don't know. I didn't stick around long. I was like, whoa! And yeah, it's hanging from the ceiling.
Is it purple?
A human. They're flying.
Yeah,
they're flying. And so yeah, I didn't know if you knew that, but they got everything here.
So I have a question
cool
for you.
Yes.
Vintage or retro? I called it retro, and then I got yelled at saying that we are actually vintage.
This is
Yes,
girl.
So retro is something new that's made to look vintage. So
Okay.
it's
Got a retro
bringing
vibe.
back the nostalgia.
I can't believe that I am actually vintage.
Because we're old, and now we're vintage. I prefer retro, but I'm not new behaving like I'm old. I'm
Right.
just old. It's just,
I love it, guys.
But you're only as old as you feel.
Exactly.
And some days I feel like I'm 20.
Most days I
Other
feel like I'm
days-
25.
Other days I feel 80. It's, it's all about balance. And but it's all about what's
And
up here.
Advil.
It's all about and a lot of Advil and pain cream, like whatever.
Yes.
It all works. But yeah, it's all about what's up inside. But you can walk in a place like this, and this is like walking into a time warp.
It's like coming home.
It is. It's even the smell. I'm like, I walked in. No,
When
like,
we were standing outside
not
before-
that, it's like it take me back to like a time. I told you when we first walked in, I was like, this is like a place my grandmother would bring me. Like to an old
Woolworth.
thrift shop. And it just had like even the smell brings me back to not a bad place. It's a good thing.
Yes,
Thank
makes
you.
you happy.
Memories. No, it doesn't smell like my grandma's basement or anything. Don't worry about that.
Well, I've had such a great time today. I am so happy that you came up here. This has
Thank
been
you for inviting me.
the most fun segment I have ever done.
It's been a good time.
It has
Yes.
been fun. Thank you.
I'm
for
going back to play video
coming.
games.
All
I
right.
don't know what you guys are doing, but I'm going
See
back
you
to play
later.
this Pac-Man.
Bye.
Peace out.
Get ready to be inspired with this interview from Bill Rancic for the new season of the Mega Brands That Built America on the History Channel. Bill, thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited because I am such a huge fan, all the way from The Apprentice to all of the shows on the History Channel. I love the brands that built America, the food that built America, especially being in grad school. I'm getting my MBA in entrepreneurship.
Perfect.
Enterprise. So it's perfect. So I am like the whole thing about Pepsi and Coke. And I really love like Domino's Pizza, how all of that to be. And Mrs. Fields, like I want to do a movie. about
Yes.
it. I never knew any of that. And Pepperidge Farm, like this is fascinating to me. So thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
I know that we now have a new season of the Mega Brands That Built America. So tell me about that. Tell everybody about it.
Yeah, it's great. And I'm like you. I was a huge fan of the History Channel ever since I can remember. Modern Marvels came out and they have all these great shows. So for me, it's really a privilege to be able to work on shows at the History Channel because I'm a huge fan. And that's really important to be able to work in areas that you love. So Mega Brands Season 2 comes out this Sunday, April 28th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's really a fascinating show because we get to take a really deep dive and take our time understanding how these brands came about and, the rivalries that came about. And, for me as an entrepreneur and someone who's working on building brands, it's fascinating. We get to look at brands like Sony, it was incredible. The first Sony product that ever came out, I bet you'll never guess. It was a rice cooker, right? So you look at how these companies started, right? A lot of them really evolved, right? Just like, for example, Avis. It was the first rent-a-car ever to open up in an airport, and everyone thought he was crazy, right?
That's
and
usually
now
how
look
it
at
happens, right? With entrepreneurs,
Right.
Everybody thinks you're crazy until all of a sudden you're changing the world.
until you're a genius. That's what they said.
Exactly.
That's what they said about Elon Musk. He was crazy, and then he became a genius.
Exactly.
So for me, as a student of entrepreneurship and of brands, I love being a part of the show. And this season is really great because now we have Peyton Manning joining us and his production company. So he's a guy who knows how to build a brand, his personal brand. He's a great entrepreneur as well. So it's fun to be able to have him on the show this season as well. So we're really excited. We think this is going to be the best season yet. And I think there's a lot more to come. If you look at all the brands that are out there, we're just scratching the surface. So hopefully this thing goes 10 or 12 seasons.
And you have some really cool brands coming up. I saw like Nike, Netflix. I actually did a 3,000 word SWOT analysis on Netflix last year. So I'm really
oh my gosh,
see what this is going to turn into.
Yeah, Blockbuster, Diners Club Card and American Express. Great story about Diners Card. It really changed the world. If you think about it, there was a guy who was out to dinner with a client. He didn't have enough money to pay for the bill. He was embarrassed. He had to call his wife. She had to bring him more money. And then he invented the first ever credit card. And now it's like a $6 trillion a year industry.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
I love how things happen sometimes just out of necessity.
Yeah.
Really a lot of these that I've watched, not to bring to bring it back to, the Pepperidge Farm lady, her kid, pretty much, I guess, like celiac disease. And he wasn't getting nutrients, or he was anemic. I forget which it is, but she started baking bread and she was like, I don't even know how to bake, but this is my mom's recipe. And the kid loved it. And then the doctor was like, hey, let me use this for my other patients. And boom, every shelf in America now.
Crazy. Now, most of the great brands came out of necessity, or very organically. And, I think you look at Apple, for example, Steve Jobs and Woz, they got their start making a video game for Atari.
In the garage.
In the garage. And they built this game called Breakout for Atari. And that was kind of their start. And now, look at what they've revolutionized. I'm on an iPad right now, and I've got my iPhone right here. And, they've changed the game. So
it's life. And, a lot of great things happen in the garage. Amazon. You have a garage. We should start doing things in the garage and building.
I know. I do have a garage, but but it's really fun to take a deep dive, and history does such a good job. Obviously, we've got the expert panel, and then we have, recreations that are done. So it tells the story really well. And I love that, you're kind of taking a vitamin and you don't even know you're taking a vitamin. So I watch it with my 11-year-old son. He loves it. It's just fascinating for him. And he's learning so much. So it's a show you can watch with the whole family.
It's very inspirational. What stories most intrigued you or maybe shocked you this season?
Well, I think for me, I love seeing the fierce competitions that evolved, right? So, you look at like Blockbuster versus Netflix. Blockbuster had an opportunity to sell or to buy Netflix, and they passed on it. Right. And now look what happened. There's one Blockbuster left, and it's in the state of Oregon. In business, you either evolve, you adapt, you react, you become agile, or you become extinct. And that's a classic example of someone who stayed in their comfort zone. Right. And they didn't adjust to what was happening in the world around them. And they became extinct, and that's a really good lesson for people in business. You have to take the blinders off. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And you have to be willing to pivot when it's necessary. This is a show that's it's the best hour you'll spend watching television. I mean, it's really fascinating. It's entertaining, and you learn a lot when you watch it.
Absolutely. I think that everybody should bring a notepad and take notes. I do.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
Where can people go to follow you?
You can go on Instagram or Twitter. I'm at Bill Rancic, and always giving business advice, and I love hearing from people and answering their questions. So that'd be great. Mega Brand Season 2 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights.
Everybody, I hope that you enjoyed this week's episode of The Piper Harlow Show. If you would like to be on the show or know anybody who would, please email us at bookings@thepiperharlowshow.com. Make sure you follow Sherri at The Real Slim Sherri on Instagram and TikTok. And please make sure you check out Incognito.com. And as always, everybody, remember, be seen, be heard, and be fearless. Woo!